The movie starts in the present day with Carrie singing into the camera, a song full of curses, for her husband's birthday party. She has asked all the guests to record a video message for him and they all say things into the camera. Later, Carrie gets up on the stage and begins the event by singing the first song she ever wrote for her husband, Simon, and she fondly remembers the times they spent together. In the next scene, we go back a few years and see Simon getting out of a store. Back home, Carrie is cooking but she seems stressed about something, due to which she burned the cookies while lost in thought. When Simon arrives and greets his wife, Carrie seems a bit distracted and abruptly walks away mid-conversation. Simon follows her into the room, just about to make a comment on her behavior when Carrie tells him that she has some news for him. She seems very much on the edge and this makes Simon worried. Carrie eventually tells him that she is pregnant and this news sends Simon on cloud 9. He has wanted kids for so long now and it is finally happening. He hugs and spins Carrie around, joyously shouting at the top of his lungs, swearing out of sheer joy. That is when Carrie establishes that they can no longer swear for they have to be good role models. The news overwhelms the two but in an amazing way. Carrie and Simon spend the next few days choosing baby names. One day, while they are at a coffee shop and making fun of all the different names they find in the newspaper, Carrie casually swears and right then, Simon empties a jar and calls it their swearing jar. Each time either of them swears, they have to put $5 in the jar. As the days go by, we see that Simon and Carrie are perfect for each other. They communicate, enjoy each other's company, and can make each other laugh. They have a compassionate relationship. We also find out that Simon is a writer and has already written a famous book, and Carrie is a middle school teacher. One day, Carrie walks into a bookstore and attracts the attention of a handsome store manager. While browsing, Carrie also finds herself stealing glances at the man, but she pulls her attention back. She then finds a quiet corner and starts writing something but finds that her pen does not work. The store manager who has been watching her all this time offers to give her a pen and is intrigued by what she is writing. Carrie tells him that she is writing a song and that she sings sometimes, but does not play. He asks if he can see what she is writing and Carrie tells him she has only come up with the title May the 4th. The store manager seems interested in her and asks her more questions, but it makes Carrie feel a little weird. He introduces himself as Owen, and Carrie awkwardly leaves there. Back at home, Carrie and Simon talk about what they are going to do with the money they collect in the swearing jar. Simon suggests they should put it towards a vacation and they should do it sooner rather than later. Carrie reasons that they need to be saving up for the baby right now, but maybe they can use it on his 40th birthday, which will be 3 years from now. This, for some reason, makes Simon uncomfortable. Carrie teases him about him growing old, but Simon declares that he would never ever be 40 years old. Carrie continues teasing him when Simon gets a call from someone and he does not answer it. This makes Carrie a little skeptical, but they do not dwell on it. In the next scene, Carrie is back at the bookstore and chatting with the cute store manager. She came back to the bookstore to buy a book but got distracted by Owen. Carrie seems awfully into the conversation and is enjoying herself, and so is Owen, who then proceeds to nervously blab about how he does not just work at the bookstore, but is also in a band because he wants to impress her. As the two talk and share a laugh, Owen asks if she would like to have coffee with him. This makes Carrie feel uncomfortable and guilty. She refuses and awkwardly leaves without even telling him her name. One day, Simon's mother, Bev, surprises the couple by showing up at their door. Simon, who seems to have a strained relationship with his mother, is not too happy to see her there. Carrie wonders why the woman came unannounced and finally finds out it was because Simon did not respond to her calls. She wants to know what's going on with him, but Carrie still does not want people to know that she's expecting. She tries to stall the truth a bit, but Simon can't hold the words back and finally tells his mother the good news. Bev is completely overjoyed by this news, but she does warn Carrie that if Simon is anything like his father who abandoned them, Carrie might end up raising that child alone. This makes Simon so very mad because his father passed away and it offends him in more ways than one. This gives rise to an argument between the two and Carrie struggles to diffuse the fire. She gets mad at Simon for revealing the secret, but he manages to win her over and then Carrie manages to calm Bev, assuring her that her son loves her. One random day, for reasons unknown to her, Carrie goes to the bookstore to give her business card to Owen. A few days later, they meet again when Owen is cleaning the bookstore windows. They have yet another awkward run-in and Owen reminds Carrie about the email he wrote her, to which she never replied. Carrie feels a little guilty and awkwardly tells him that she shouldn't have given him her card because she's in a complicated situation that does not allow her to give away her card to random men. Though she really liked meeting him, Carrie feels guilty and wrong about what she did. This makes Owen wonder if she is taken by another. Carrie struggles to give him a straight answer for some reason, even though she is in a happy marriage with Simon. When Owen asks her to walk with him for a while, Carrie reluctantly agrees. Later, Carrie's leaving school one day when she finds Bev waiting for her. This worries Carrie a bit, and even more when she sees that Bev is drunk. An emotional and inebriated Bev asks Carrie to hold tight to the happy moments in life and memorize them. She recalls that despite her late husband being a womanizer, what truly ruined their marriage was the secrets. She implores Carrie to be patient with Simon and to be strong. Her impromptu visit baffles Carrie and she forgets all about her doctor's appointment, When she arrives at the clinic, Simon is already waiting for her with the doctor. He gets annoyed with her for being late, but Carrie still seems distracted by her phone. She eventually tells him about his mother showing up at her school, and it strikes Simon as odd. On the way back home, Simon is pissed at Carrie for being inattentive at her doctor's session. This makes Carrie mad and she spirals out of control, freaking out about having a kid. Bev's words have gotten to Carrie, and now, coupled with all the hormonal changes that come with pregnancy, she is bursting at the seams. She declares, in her fit, that she does not want a baby and storms inside. Simon tries to reason with her and calm her down, but has little luck as Carrie is still spiraling. She worries that they are not ready for this and she does not want to end up doing this all by herself. Simon, exhausted and defeated, finally says that maybe one day she could do it all by herself, but this pisses Carrie off even more. She just wants to know if Simon is okay or not because she can feel that something about him is different. Simon hesitantly confesses to her that he is not okay, but before he can say more, Carrie starts to hyperventilate. She starts getting cramps and gets sick, and this worries Simon even more. He gets her to calm down and tells her that he was only joking earlier. He swears to her that everything is okay, but even then, Carrie is convinced that Simon is hiding something from her. As the days pass, Carrie spends more and more time with Owen and they get to know each other better. She hides this from Simon and it makes her feel guilty too, but she can't stop herself from spending time with Owen either. One day, Owen and Carrie go for a picnic in the park. They get to talking some more and Carrie finds out that just like her, Owen, too, is an orphan. After spending some time with him, though Carrie constantly feels guilty, she can't help but feel attracted to Owen. It's like something draws her to him and she just can't figure out what it is because she truly loves Simon. When she can't stop herself anymore, Carrie kisses Owen and then instantly regrets it because she spots Bev in the park. Bev recognizes Carrie but hastily walks away from there. Carrie feels mortified and so terribly guilty as she rushes to leave, but when Owen demands to know what is wrong, she feels forced to confess the truth about her marriage. Leaving him with a shocker, Carrie hurries away from there. Days later, Simon ignores calls from his mother, and since Carrie has chosen to keep her infidelity a secret from him, Simon has no clue about it. He lies in bed, feeling a little under the weather, and Carrie suggests he consult a doctor. Simon brushes over that suggestion as he studies Carrie's sonogram. He is convinced that they are having a boy while Carrie is adamant that it's a girl. The two joke around and get back to the topic of baby names. Simon wants to name their baby girl Gretchen and Carrie is totally against it. After a playful conversation, Simon goes to the kitchen to get some coffee like he normally would on any random day, but suddenly a harsh reality comes crashing down on Carrie when she goes looking for him. She finds him lying unconscious on the kitchen floor, and soon we find out that Simon has passed away. One rainy day, an emotional and lost Carrie arrives at the bookstore to meet Owen. She apologizes to him for lying to him for so long about her relationship. Owen is definitely hurt and feels betrayed, but he still confesses that he really liked her. This makes Carrie feel even more guilty on top of all the other agonizing emotions that she's feeling, and she tells Owen that her husband passed away, but not so she could gain his sympathy. She leaves but does confess that she, too, liked him a lot. Bev offers Carrie comfort and support in her time of need, assuring her that she won't have to do this alone. Later, while going through Simon's clothes, Carrie finds a piece of paper and its contents shock her to her very core. She goes to Bev and shows her the document that says that Simon had a life-threatening condition called Berry aneurysm. She then, in a completely shocking twist of events, finds out that Bev knew about this all along and Simon asked her to hide this from Carrie. Carrie has trouble grasping this truth. She can't believe that Simon, who used to update her about his bowel movements, would lie to her about something this big. She struggles to deal with this earth-shattering revelation and gets pissed at Bev for lying to her. In a fit of anger, Carrie banishes Bev from visiting her or her child ever again. Days go by and Carrie gets through her pregnancy all by herself. Months later, she gives birth to a baby girl whom she names Gretchen, just as Simon had wanted. The movie takes a 3-year leap and we see that Carrie is now living a happy and full life with her daughter Gretchen. One day, the doorbell rings and Carrie opens the door only to find Owen at her doorstep. This takes her by surprise. Owen is there in response to Carrie's message, asking him to be his friend. Although the two still seem pretty interested in each other, Carrie and Owen decide to be friends and start fresh after all these years. Carrie does not even hesitate to introduce him to her young daughter, and Owen instantly charms the little girl. As they get to talking, Owen finds out that Carrie has not seen her mother-in-law since before Simon's funeral, and that she never even attended Simon's funeral. The topic of her deceased husband makes Carrie a little overwhelmed and emotional. As she struggles to be open with Owen, he consoles her and assures her that he'll always be there for her. Even after all the things she kept from him, he still likes her and wants to be her friend. And though they try to establish boundaries, Carrie and Owen are still drawn to each other and they end up sharing a passionate kiss that reignites their feelings for each other. Soon, Owen becomes a part of Carrie's and Gretchen's life as he develops a strong bond with the little girl. Carrie finally meets up with Bev one day. Bev is still very much angry at Carrie for the way she handled things 3 years ago, and Bev finds it preposterous that Carrie has sent out an invitation for a birthday party / concert / wake for her deceased son. She refuses to attend the event and is still raging mad at Carrie for not allowing her to ever know her granddaughter or to be a part of their family. Carrie eventually admits to Bev that what she did to her was unforgivable, and she apologizes for it as well. Bev forgives Carrie and asks to see her granddaughter, to which she happily agrees. Later, Carrie and Owen spend some intimate moments together and get closer than ever. One day, Carrie brings Gretchen to meet Bev at the park. As they watch the little girl play, Bev talks to Carrie about her life and tells her that Simon would have wanted her to move on. All he ever wanted was for Carrie to be happy, and so Bev insists that she should do what makes her happy. While prepping for the concert / wake, Carrie and Owen spend some sweet moments together. Carrie feels it is odd how the guy she's sleeping with is singing at her deceased husband's wake. It offends Owen that Carrie just thinks of him like that and nothing more. Carrie clarifies that she did not mean it like it, and as they kiss and make up, Owen confesses that he loves her. This freaks Carrie out because it is too soon in their relationship for them to feel this way. She is scared to open up and let Simon go, and this is hindering her from starting a new fulfilling relationship with Owen. She still feels like she is cheating on Simon by being with Owen. Owen harshly reminds her that it has been 3 years since Simon's passing and it's time for Carrie to be happy again. But Carrie can't seem to handle all of this all at once. She feels so lost when she is with Owen, and she had only just started to get her life together. She breaks it off with Owen and walks away. Back at the main event, in the present day, despite their differences, Owen has accompanied Carrie through her entire performance, and she thanks him in front of everyone for his constant support. She presents the swearing jar, which, even after throwing this party, still contains enough money for a little vacation for her and Gretchen. At the end of her speech, Carrie thanks Simon for bringing joy into the lives of everyone he ever met for as long as he lived. And as she begins her last song, Carrie thinks back to the day when Simon had once asked her to just be happy in case anything happened to him, and Carrie had then promised him that she would never ever love anyone other than him. She has always held on to that promise, but somewhere along the way, Carrie has found happiness in someone other than just Simon. So as she sings her very last song, the image of Simon that she had imagined in front of her this whole time vanishes from in front of her eyes, and Carrie finally can see past her past and into her future, which is Owen.